All right, Jake, let's start off with the big question. Why was Arizona State the right choice for you?
I really like Dillingham, Arroyo, the recruiting guy, Trent. It's not so professional with them, I could talk to them as if they're a normal person. So it's nice to have that deeper connection other than just professional all the time.
So after the Texas State game and the post-game press conference, I asked Kenny Dillingham what it meant to get a win in Texas, and he said it was great, but then he immediately said, I'm sticking around. I've got to go visit recruit in El Paso. Turned out to be you. What did it mean to have the head coach of a Power 4 program make the time out of his schedule to come visit you and see in action?
It's real cool to have a head coach come down and watch you play. It's a real cool and exciting experience. It meant a lot to me.
What really kind of jumps out to you most in getting to know Kenny Dillingham? Obviously, a younger guy, one of the youngest coaches in the country. But what things about him kind of jump out to you and impress you most, make you want to play for him?
That he's a real face-to-face person. He'll FaceTime you instead of text you. When he wants to talk to you, he'll have real face-to-face conversations with you, and I really appreciate that.
Now, you have, I believe, had an experience down here at an ASU recruiting camp in June. What were some of the things that kind of jumped out to you there, being able to kind of see things up close?
It's cool. So you go to all these camps throughout the summer, and you see how different coaches run them. So some schools, it's just like a tryout. They're standing in the back while you're throwing and just doing what they tell you. But at that camp, I was actually pulled and getting coached at the camp instead of just out there throwing like I was some kind of puppy. I was getting actively coached throughout the entire thing, and it meant a lot to me.
So why was right now the right time to make this commitment, and also kind of how does it feel to have this decision, this big decision kind of, done, completed going forward?
I never thought I was going to commit this early, but when I got to know all the ASU dudes, I knew this was the school where I wanted to be, so I was just going to get on it as soon as possible.
So, watching the ASU off to a pretty nice 3-1 start on their season so far, in your time, checking them out in action so far this season, what things have jumped out to seeing your future program in action?
I really enjoy their offense and the way they run things. They have an athletic quarterback in Sam Levitt, and I think I compared to him pretty well. Coach says I does, so seeing him have success in that program and system, it makes me excited to play in it.
Now, speaking of that skill set, for any listeners and viewers that have not seen you in action, maybe not caught your game film, give those folks a self-scouting report. What kind of skills do you bring to an offense?
I'm an athletic dude. I try to stay in the pocket as much as I can, but with my genetics and how blessed I am, I'm able to extend a play, and make something happen when there's nothing.
Now, of course, a big part of playing the quarterback position is a leadership aspect. How would you describe your leadership style?
Being a younger quarterback last year, it was hard to be a vocal leader because you're first stepping into the position. But as I grow older and mature, I've been way more vocal and like telling the team and stuff this year than I was last year. Last year, I was more of just a lead by example kind of guy.
So, even off the field, Kenny Dillingham is really kind of over the last couple of years really try to bring in a certain character of individual into the program. So what kind of person, off the field is this son of a program getting?
You have to be a good person off the field to be a good person on the field, I don't believe in thinking you're the best at all times. Everyone's able to grow, and you're always able to help others, and others could always help you.
So when you look at this Sun Devil offense, what are specifically some of the things that you like about what Kenny Dillingham, Marcus Arroyo, and their offensive scheme, brings to a field, and what it's like for a quarterback to run it?
It's real exciting. It's a lot like the NFL. You don't always. It's not just going to be gun all the time. You're not just going to be an empty throwing the ball. It's an NFL-based system, so that's real cool to get to learn a system like that in college, when nowadays it seems like everyone wants to run empty and everyone just wants to let it loose,
So, of course, you're the latest commitment in a pretty long string at this point of the Texas-to-Tempe pipeline. A lot of Texans on this roster. What does it mean to see your future program have such an important on your home state of Texas?
it's really exciting. You know you're going to be able to connect with dudes when you come from the same place, same home state. So it's really exciting.
So, I've talked to a lot of the Texans on this roster, and I'd like to ask them this question because they all have, some very interesting answers. What makes Texas high school players different?
I think the competition level. Texas is a huge football school. Everyone gets into it, whether you're an old person or a young person. So it's really exciting. It's just everything's a little more intense.
So obviously, you're playing ball in El Paso. What's the football scene like out there in West Texas?
It's different than what you see other places in the state. We throw the ball a lot, but once we get into playoffs and we play teams like Lubbock and Amarillo, they're more run heavy, so it's different than what we usually see.
So you're the first commitment in ASU's 2026 class, especially as a quarterback as well. Is this something that now that you're locked in, that you're going to be trying to rally some other talented folks across the country to join you in Tempe?
Oh, for sure. Especially being a quarterback, the team is built around you pretty much. So you want weapons around you so that they can help you when you get to the college.
Now, being a guy, a blue chip recruit, so many lofty rankings amongst all the recruiting services, does that add a little pressure, or is it kind of a nice validation to know that you're on the right track?
It's cool, but I don't really think rankings mean much. You could have a bad season, you drop. You have a good season, you're up there. So I believe that rankings don't mean much, but it's cool to see sometimes. See that people actually think you're good and all that.
So, of course, your season's off to a pretty good start. I believe the team's off to a 3-0 start. What are some of the things that kind of jump out to you about your team's early success and, your performance in those games?
We have real good team chemistry. I've been playing with a lot of these dudes since I was 5 or 6 years old. So being around those dudes when you grow up, it makes it exciting, especially to have a team as good as we do this year. Everyone's excited to play. Coaches making sure everyone's healthy, making sure we have a good scheme, so it's real fun.
So where do you feel that since starting taking over last year and through this season, where you've made the greatest strides in your game and grown, and where do you want to continue that growth, in the year plus until you get to college?
I think I've done a much better job being more of a leader this year. Last year I was one of the youngest dudes on the team, so it was kind of hard for me. But as you grow, you realize that you need to be the leader, especially at the quarterback position. And then what I need to get better at is I need to make sure my footwork's more sound and I'm not bailing the pocket too early.
So ultimately, when that day comes and you're running out of Tillman Tunnel and the maroon and gold, what do you think the thoughts and emotions are going to be for you in that moment?
It's just going to be exciting, It's real cool. It's a lifelong dream, When you're little, all you want to do is play on TV, play for a good school. So it'll be real cool.